Hi guys, I'm Monica Gupta. I'm a career coach at 12th Pass and I have 20 years of experience in IT industry. And today I'm very happy to welcome three of very special guests at my channel, Bhavya Tanisha, an MBA candidate. He has experience in strategic analysis, product management and digital marketing. And notably, he has increased an edtech brand by 30,000 followers. Bhavya is also certified as an NISM research analyst. Hi Bhavya, thanks for joining us. Then we have Parnika Singhi. She is a second year student at IIM Ranchi. She is an enthusiastic student as well as she has passion for singing and athletics. Then we have Saksham Agrawal. Saksham Agrawal is in 12th class at DLRC School, Pune, and he is preparing for IPMAT. He loves playing cricket and he has passion for music. So today, me and Saksham gonna ask some very specific questions about IPMAT, how people go for it, and what kind of troubles they face, or what are the advice that you guys would like to give us. Okay. So I will start with my very first question. So first question is, what are the subjects that are covered in IPMAT, and how are they distributed in different sections?
So I would just like to start this conversation, and I would like to say that uh, basically in IPM you would get exposed to a lot of different subjects, and these subjects range from it can be anything from psychology to commerce to any other subject that is needed for you to become a good manager. So I had this notion before coming to IPM that most of the things would be more of related to commerce, like accountancy or economics, but it is not like that. You also get trained in presentation skills, communication, because all these things are also necessary if you want to become a good manager in a later date. So IPM is a holistic course which in the first 3 years focuses on building the base of the students, like the base level knowledge, which is obviously related to class 11th and 12th. So if you had commerce in your 11th and 12th, that would be good. But if you didn't have that and you were from science, then also there is no problem because you can easily cope up. And the subjects that are being taught here are taught from the basics. So even if they're teaching you accountancy, they'll keep in mind that there's a student from the science stream also. So that is what I think. And there's a trimester system. So there are three semesters, at least in IIM Rohtak. So I'm in the final year of IIM Rohtak. I'm in the last year of my MBA right now. And Parnika would be able to, add some more insights based on her experience at IIM Ranchi.
Yeah. So it's very similar in IIM Ranchi as well. We have a plethora of subjects that we study. It's not like that we focus only on the business subjects. We study subjects from almost all the domains. Right now, I just had a course which was on sociology, which was so knowledge enriching. So it's similarly, it's the same thing for 9 terms, and then we move on to MBA, which is more business dedicated. So yeah, it's very similar to IIM Rohtak and IIM Ranchi as well.
All right. Thank you. The next question is coming. What is the difficulty level of IPMAT questions compared to other entrance exams?
If I would, if I have to comment on the difficulty level of the exam, I would say it is a fairly easy exam. Now, a lot of people would think that no, IPM is very difficult, and IIM Indore is pretty difficult. But I feel that this competition that you are facing in entrances, it would only get worse once get into some other exams, for example, CAT or UPSC. If you compare this exam to any other entrance exam, it is much easier, I would say. IIM Indore is a bit difficult as compared to IIM Rohtak, and GIPMAT is the easiest. So that is the order of ranking that I would like to give. So IIM Indore is the toughest one because you have to also answer short answer questions, and there is a bit of higher maths in that. So I would say that IIM Indore the exam is difficult, and even for that, a good preparation of 1 year would be sufficient. So if a person studies full-heartedly for 1 year, like he starts in class 12, then I think that he can easily clear that exam also. So there is no rocket science in that. All you need to do is that you need to, uh, first of all, go through the paper and then see which are the important subjects and then focus on those chapters and make sure to practice the questions, as much as possible so that you are able to complete the cutoff basically. So, Pandega, you would like to add something?
Yeah, I think the most challenging part about IPMAT is the accuracy. It's not the syllabus or anything else. It's the accuracy to get the right answer in a stipulated amount of time. So that's the only difficult part if we have to make it clear. So yeah, and if we talk about the English section, it's again more accuracy, more practice. And IPMAT is not a mountain that you can't move. It's fairly easy, as Bhavya said, than other competitive exams, which have so many candidates. So IPMAT is still relatively on the easier side. So
Okay.
that's that.
Saksham is getting very happy because you have answered that I will met in a base. So,
Yeah.
Saksham, would you like to ask another question? You have a
Yeah,
list of
I had one question in my mind. So do you think the 5-year program offer an edge rather than the traditional management programs? So why should an aspirant choose IP?
So I think it's a good question, but it boils down to uh, what is your basically what you want in life right now. So it can be that someone can do their graduation and then they can take a work ex and then they can give CAT, right? And then they can get into a top IM. So that is a good way, and that way is, I would say, in a way better because you are also getting a work ex after your 3 years. What happens in IPM is that you do your IPM for the first 3 years, that is the graduation, the BBA part, and then directly you start your MBA. So the positive here is that you need not sit for another exam, that is CAT, because you have already appeared for IPMAT and you got into the 5-year program. So you need not prepare everything again, and generally it becomes difficult after your graduation because once you lose touch from studies after class 12 for 3 years, then to again sit and clear an exam like CAT, that might be difficult for some people. So I'm not saying that it's not the case. Everyone does it because a lot of people do their graduation and then they prepare for CAT. But I would say that if you want basically a more straightforward route, then you should go for IPMAT. And if you want to explore, you want to say that no, I'm not sure about management right now, then I would say that you could do your graduation for the first 3 years and then decide if you want to go for an MBA or not.
I think career-wise, IPM provides a big safety net also. Like after 3 years, you don't really have to think, what next. So if you want to get a mile ahead from others, then you can prepare for CAT and crack a bigger IIM. But if you feel that no, I'm really stable in one particular institution and I want to continue, and maybe you don't want to give CAT or you don't want to pursue it from somewhere else. You like the specialization that your already present institution is providing, then it provides a big safety net and provides a lot of security career wise. So that is a very good aspect about IPM. So that thing also you can think about.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think your mic is muted.
I think the next question is also coming from Saksham side. Thanks, Bhavya, for pointing out.
Yeah. So there has been changes in the paper patterns because it's an aptitude test. Does this affect the student a lot, or the student should not care about it? Just focus on the studies.
I would say that the paper pattern changes a little every year. It can happen that, it's up to their discussion, like how many questions they want to give, or so based on number of people who are giving the exam, the cutoff changes. As people are increasing, the cutoffs might get more difficult to achieve. But the changes in the pattern are basically very negligent. It wouldn't affect your preparation per se because you have to prepare for quants, LR, and verbal. Uh, you have to cover all those three things, and it might happen like they can give you a writing ability test, which is to take check your writing, which used to happen earlier. Now I think that they are not taking any writing ability test. But as we have seen in IIM Indore's case, there is the section for short answers. So in that, you don't have any options. You just have to fill in the answer. So that is a thing that got changed, and it made the IPM Indore exam in particular a bit difficult, I would say. So you have to keep a check on these things, and you have to go through the paper pattern properly, and you should know what you're getting into and which exam that you are giving. So go fully prepared, and all the details would be available on the official website of the colleges.
I think for your preparation, it's more important to focus on the syllabus. But to really ace the exam, you need to pay some heed to the paper pattern also. You can't be oblivious about what they'll ask or how they'll ask in the paper. But for the most part of your preparation, it's important to focus on the syllabus because I mean, that will constitute around 90-95% of your result. So make sure you distribute your attention that way.
So yeah.
Got it. And Pandita, in between, you said that GIPMAT is the easiest one. So, in what way, if we are preparing for basically IPMAT, any IP, any IM college, then why did we say that GIPMAT would be a little easier? Why? What are the subjects which are the easiest one, or it is the number distribution or something?
I think the reason why GIPMAT is easier is because of the difficulty level of the questions also. I mean, from personal experience, IPMAT Indore, I felt was a little difficult academically because the types of question they've asked, the time, the paper pattern, everything. It was relatively on the more difficult side. Whereas GIPMAT, one section is for quantitative ability, one section is for logical reasoning or data interpretation, and one is for verbal ability. So cumulatively, all the three sections constitute of easy to medium level questions.
Okay.
So that way GIPMAT became easier. And one thing in IPMAT Indore, there's a sectional timer also. So it's not like that you have 120 minutes and you can distribute it according to your convenience. It's like you have to finish one section in 40 minutes. Whereas that's not the case in GIPMAT.
Got it. So they have given 120 minutes all along, and then you can utilize the time as per your.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Got it. Saksham, any question coming from your side, or should I go ahead?
I have one question. So a lot of students face this problem. They have 12 boards and then preparing for IPM. So how should one overcome that?
I would say that there are two things that you need to keep in mind. One is to maintain the balance between your school studies and your extra study that you have to do for the exam. And the second is consistency. So it cannot happen that you study 1 2 days and then you leave it. You have to be consistent with both the studies. You are consistent with your school studies, I am supposing that, because there is parental pressure, there is pressure from your school to perform good in your 11th and 12th and 10th. Okay. But apart from that, the IPM exam is something that you have taken on your own, that you have decided that you want to give. Now, if you have a dream, then you would have to work for it a bit harder, and you would have to devote some extra time apart from what you are already doing in your school. So every day 2 to 3 hours, if I'm assuming that you have 1 year of time left, every day if you give just 2 to 3 hours, and in that what you can do is just practice the questions, do as many questions as possible, and every day try to do a few questions from quants, a few questions from LR, a few from bubble. Keep a notebook, write down all the important points that you feel you would forget later. So this kind of self study, self preparation would help you a lot, and small steps every day would take you a long way.
Yeah, I completely agree with Bhavya. Consistency is the key with IPMAT. I mean, it's one of the most important aspects in your IPMAT preparation. So you have to consistently practice every day. Devote some hours, 1 2 3 hours for your IPMAT preparation, and that should be that should really help you.
Okay.
Okay, just adding more onto it. So what do you suggest that what should be an ideal routine for an IPM aspirant? And one more thing is that should someone also prepare for, also prepare for extracurricular activities. So I am currently learning tabla. Should I stop that and completely focus on IPM, or will it help in my application process?
I wouldn't say that you need to stop any of your hobbies. You can pursue it. But the thing is, again, you would have to manage your time between, you have 24 hours, right? And you have to do a lot of things. You have to prepare for your exams, prepare for the entrance exam, and then manage your hobbies as well. So having hobbies and extracurriculars is really good because that shows, and you can talk about that in your interview. So once you get selected and you reach the interview round, then you can uh, uh, tell them about what your hobbies are, and that it gives you brownie points that makes you stand out from others, and it gives you an edge. So definitely having extracurriculars is good, but again, this time you have to focus on your studies because you have to compete with a lot of students and try to at least clear the cutoff so that you can move to the next round.
So out here, one
Yeah,
question I have. Sorry, Panika, go on.
Yeah, I was just adding on to what Bhavya said. It's really important for you to manage your time with your extracurriculars also. And to be very honest, there's no ideal routine for an IPMAT aspirant. It's all about what you are already doing in your academics, your co-curriculars, extracurriculars, as well as how your preparation is going. If you feel that your IPMAT preparation is not on track, then you obviously have to devote more time to it. But then you cannot completely forget about the extracurricular aspect also, because when you go, it's fine if you, it's in fact good if you cut off the if you clear the cutoff, but then if you don't have anything to show in the interview, then it just sort of becomes meaningless, all your preparation, all your hard work. So you have to balance both the things.
So out here, then my question is, how important is your profile building? I mean, exam is one part, you said, right? And then in interview, during the interview, they would be asking for your profile. So what in profile and at what level? Let's say if Saksham is there, anybody is there, they play cricket. The cricket has to be on some level, Jilla Parishad, district level or state level, or beyond. I mean, if we are just playing at the moment at a society level, would that be good enough? They're looking for what kind of, profile as such. It has to be on some
Uh,
level, or it is good to have some hobbies at my pocket.
I think the hobbies that you can mention to the interviewer, that should be the ones for which you have some certificates. So I'm not saying certificates of like national level certificates, but even zonal level, state level, school level certificates, if you have, then you can show that, and that gives the validity that okay, you do play the sport in particular, and you have a certain form of mastery on it. And they obviously like having people who are having good profiles. So what I mean by profile is that ideally till 12th class, if you have to judge a student, most you can do is check out his 10th marks, his 12th marks. So that are the two major points that they look into. So 10th and 12th marks are important. So a lot of people might say that okay, I am in Indore mein to there is no 10th and 12th marks का मतलब weightage नहीं है. But it is not true, I would say, because it reflects on your profile. So when you're talking, or even if you're giving your IIM Indore interview, they might not count it, but it would give them a perception that okay, in 10th you had this much, in 12th you had this much. So having good marks in 10th and 12th would be a bonus. And apart from that, having good communication skills. So how you're talking at that point to the interviewer, that would also be very important, because at that time he is judging you. He is judging like how well of a manager can you be. Are you a good fit for their institute? So just keep in mind that you get good grades, you have good communication skills, and then having some certificates at base level also, like school level, zonal level, that is good enough.
Yeah, it's more important to have a diverse portfolio, because that just reflects that you're an all-rounder personality, and that is what interviewers are looking for this program.
Right. Got it. So how is the work pressure academic pressure, I would say, at any of the IIM campus?
Academic pressure, I would say, is changing depending on in which year you are. So ideally, I would say that IPM, the first 3 years are tough. So I'm talking this from the perspective of IIM Rohtak. So IIM Rohtak, there is a word that we use in IIM Rohtak that is kathor. So they have this ideology and basically the way of living here is that you are always on the go. You have to be disciplined. You have classes that are fixed. The rules against absenteeism are really strict, so you cannot be missing classes. You have to manage your time. So these are the things that you learn in the first 3 years. Once you clear the first 3 years, then you have some sort of understanding because you are now above an undergrad, and then you enter the MBA first year. First year hits you again because that is also very difficult, and you have to manage a lot of things. And in MBA, like there are new things coming into your life. You have clubs and committees to join. You have other things that you could help in organizing. And from that point on, it's up to you how you want to spend your time, right? So every year, when you change from the first year to the next, you would feel some changes in your work-life balance, I would say. So, for example, this the last year at in MBA, which is I'm in the final year of MBA right now, and at this point, I have some free time because the classes are less, and I can focus on other things also. So yeah, I would say that the work-life balance changes, but that is something that you would be able to manage. Now, I am Ranchi के लिए I think Parnika would be a good fit to tell.
Panika, so you are in second year, right? So your work pressure, I mean, as Bhavya explained, it will be very, very high. So how much time do you
Yeah.
get for your sleep or anything?
Okay, so in I Am Ranchi, we have another saying that sleep is a privilege
Okay.
because on a regular basis, we hardly get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, which is pretty less. But to be very honest, it's very hectic uh, because of the trimester system, I think. Every 1 month, 1 month, 15 days, 1.5 months, we have exams. So before that, there are presentations, there are projects, there are group presentations and everything for which you have to prepare. And then as soon as that ends, you have exams to prepare for. And the
Okay.
exam system is also very rigorous. So it's like, as Bhavya mentioned for IIM Rohtak, that you're always on the go. That's very true for IIM Ranchi also. It's like, even though you won't have exams, you're just having classes on a regular day, you will have something else to do, something personal to work on, something academic to work on, or something co-curricular, for example, case competitions or some quiz or something else. So it's like you're always occupied, and you'll have very less time for yourself also. Hence the less sleep time. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you will be satisfied that you worked on something, that you did something productive. So nobody really rants about the hectic schedule also.
So sense of satisfaction is there, and that is why I mean we can. It's okay to have less sleep, is what you're saying.
Yes, it's worth it at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
got it. Section, next question coming from your side.
You need an LOR for your college application.
Uh, Not necessarily, because
Mhm.
I just had one character certificate, which was from the school, not from any particular person. So it wasn't really required though. They didn't see it in my interview. It might be different for I am Indore or I am Rohtak.
Um, I am not really sure of this question. I would have to check and once let you know. I don't think it's necessary though.
Okay, got it. How does networking help in academic and professional life? Does your faculty or seniors help you to get placed or
I would say that networking really does help, and networking should be not just a way in which you are just increasing your LinkedIn followers or LinkedIn connections. That is not networking. Networking is having actual good people that you know who would be able to help you at a later stage, and vice versa. So you should be also ready to help them out, and that I think is networking. And in IIM, you would have a lot of chance to network with a lot of diverse people, because in IIM you would have people from all over India coming into your batch, and you would not realize this right now, but it is good to have at least to be in talking terms to all of the students in your batch, I would say, because after you complete your MBA and once everybody goes to different cities, somebody's in Bangalore, somebody's in Mumbai, so at that time, you would realize that you have a very good network of people that you can rely on. And even at a later stage, when you want to switch maybe your job, and then you would realize that, okay, my friend is working in this company, okay, or I want to also go into that sector. So at that time, those networks really flourish. But yeah, I also learned this thing very late, I would say, because in the first few years, I was a very introvert. So I was focusing on my YouTube channel, but I was not talking to a lot of people. I had a few friends, but I could make a lot more. So that is something that you could keep in mind, that from the starting, try to have good relations with everyone and have good networking skills.
Yeah, I completely agree with Bhavya. Uh, our former academic dean said this thing during our induction that don't make contacts, make connections, because that will help
Very
you in
true.
future.
Very true.
Yes, so that really stuck with me. So don't just talk to people for the sake of talking. Talk to them because you want to know them, and maybe in the future, they can help you or you can help them out. So keep that in mind. And as Bhavya said, to be on talking terms with everyone, that will really help you to grow as a person also, because you will have many different perspectives, when you're working in a group project or anything. So I think networking is one of the most essential things about management program.
And how difficult is that?
I think it's pretty easy. You just have to go to a person, say hi casually, because frankly speaking, everyone's in the same
Correct.
hustle as you are. So that becomes a relatable point to talk about. You can just start off talking on some exam related, some academic, and then that's how any friendship, any relation builds on. So that should be easy. That should be easy.
That is very good. Saksham, now I think we should be asking those questions which you have, specifically the last questions.
Yeah. So how did you prepare for the current affairs and general knowledge in your interview? And what resources did you use?
Um, for current affairs, I would say that I did one thing basically. I am trying to inculcate this habit of reading newspaper, but it takes time. And even till today, I'm trying to make it a habit. But while I was preparing for IPMAT, I went on to YouTube and I searched, like, there are people who have summarized a whole month of current affairs on YouTube, or you could find that on Google also. So you would find videos that all the important current affairs of May, June, July. So you can just start watching those videos. Now, I would say while you are preparing for interviews, try to be in touch with at least the last 6 to 8 months before the exam, because and once you will start to understand those current affairs, you would see that a lot of current affairs are related to each other. So some news that came might be in this month, that might have second news pertaining to that same topic after 3 months again. So you would be able to relate to that. So at least have a knowledge of the first 6 to 8 months before the exam. So you can go to internet or chat, just do anything and try to be at pace with the current affairs of the last 6 to 8 months.
I think for the static GK, you can definitely go to some YouTube channels. They are very good at explaining concepts, because what happens with GK is that you read some news or you read some piece of information, then you tend to forget it. But if someone's explaining it to you in a form of story or something, then it becomes easier to recall it and retain it also. And as for current GK, it's very important to read the newspaper, because that is like the best source for news. Reading newspaper could be a little difficult because of the habit, but then there are obviously good YouTube alternatives also. But reading newspaper, especially the editorial part, will give you many opinions that are there in the public also. So that will help you build on interview answers in the near future.
So, so another question is that October has started now, right? And we are towards, uh, the students who are preparing for IPMAT. They are just near, I mean, the IPMAT going to come very soon. And let's say if their course syllabus is left, what are the tips that you'd like to give them?
So it's a very common theme with students is that in the last few months they would get very active, and then they are like, okay, up to 2 3 months maybe we'll clear IPMAT.
Mm.
I would say that it is possible, but again, it would be difficult if you are competing with someone who is preparing for the last 1 year, because ultimately he has given more time for the exam than you are, because you are starting in the last 4 months, right? Or 3 months. So, the tips, but again, as I said, it is very much possible that the person starting late can also get admission, provided that he does the work smartly. So first of all, the one thing that I really like to do is directly go to the past year question papers first. So even though if I don't have any knowledge, I would try to, you know, do the past year questions and see where am I lacking. So it might happen that I do 10 questions, and of those 10 questions, I'm able to do only one question properly. But in those 9 questions, then I would delve deeper into them, like what subject it's, what chapter is it from. Then I would go to that chapter and I would reverse engineer into that concept that, okay, why I was not able to do this question. So I think that would give you a good understanding of the past year paper, the difficulty level, and how much do you really need to put in, right? Once you are done with the past year papers, then you would have an idea that, okay, these are the important chapters, and these are the ones where I have a lacking in my concept. So then you can target those in particular. So this is a more targeted approach, and it is a reverse engineered approach because you are using the past year question paper first to get to what you want to study. Ideally, it should be that, okay, you take a book or you join a coaching and then you study from day one. But for those who are just doing it in the last 2 3 months, I think for them they need to really do some smart work and try to manage their time properly.
I think the technique that Bhavya suggested, it's impeccable, and it really helps to get an idea where the student is lacking, which area, so that there's more focused work. And apart from that, doing a lot of mock papers is very important. And then not just stopping over there, not just attempting and leaving over there. It's important to see where you made a mistake, because that is how you will be able to do better in the further mocks. So that is a good approach to IPMAT. And apart from that, regular study should be there, like regular practice of reading comprehensions, regular reading of GK, and doing quantitative ability questions, especially those where you made mistakes in mocks. So that should be a good approach.
So, any study material that you guys like to refer to us, to our students who are preparing, or any
Uh,
website that you would like to refer, which is helping students prepare for IPMAT?
so at my prep way, we have 4 books. And in those books, we have like questions of one book is for quants, one is for LR, one is for verbal, and one is for the past year questions. And there's one more book in which you have like mock papers. So if you want to buy books for IPMAT, then at my prep way, which is, I can mention my channel also in the description or somewhere. And if you have seen my channel, then you would know that we have, online coaching about IPMAT. And we also have our books, so you can use those books. If you don't wish to buy those books, then you can also go on Amazon and you can try some of the bestsellers. And I would have to check the publishers, but I think Arihant is a good publisher, if I'm not wrong. And there are a few books that have now come up for IPMAT. Earlier, there weren't many books, I would say. But yeah, so when you are buying books, just make sure that they have good reviews. Like nowadays, you can check everything online. and you can just check if it's a good publisher, if they have good reviews, and take a past year questions book, which should have the past year papers. Try to solve that, and have some books on quants, LR, and verbal also. And people, you can go for IPMAT targeted books that are coming up right now, or you could also go for the CAT books. But the problem with CAT books is that if you don't have a lot of time, then that is a much vaster book to cover, and it has things that might not come in your IPMAT exam. So take a targeted IPMAT book that is solely made for the purpose of clearing IPMAT only. And that's why I suggested my prepares books. And apart from that, we also have some mock tests, and mock tests are again available on a lot of websites. You can check and feel free to choose the one that you feel is good for you. And yeah, I would say that would be enough.
So the question was that what are the coaching institute that you would like to refer to our students so that they can prepare for I IPMAT?
So again, as I was saying that my prep way is a place where we try our best to give the best education possible to all the students who are preparing for IPMAT, and we have online live courses that you can opt for, and we also have books. Apart from that, if you want to take any other coaching, there are other coaching institutes also like Pratham, Time. So any good institute that is near you can try visiting their center, ask them like what is their strategy, how would they be teaching you, and what all how many chapters would be covered in what amount of time. So try to get those things out of them, and then you can try to choose coaching for yourself. And I would say that don't invest a lot of money into the coaching. Like people pay upwards of 1 lakh into coaching fees, so that is not needed. You can easily get good sources and good books, and after that it's up to you, like how much do you study.
Yeah.
Completely agree with Bhavya.
Sorry, Vanika, what did you say? I missed it.
Yeah, yeah, I was just saying that Bhavya has completely summarized the coaching situation. Rather, investing in coaching institutions, invest in the books and the study material that you're going to use. Like there are some very good books for VARC, like Word Power Made Easy. And there are good quants books also from RS Agarwal. So these are good books from which you can get good practice. So that is more important.
Got it. And for students who are aspiring to, preparing for IPMAT and wants to give, should they be joining any mock interviews?
Yes, mock interviews is a good option if you get a chance and you find that there are people who are taking good mock interviews. You can join those interviews. Or otherwise, I would say that you can even create a mock interview situation in your own house. So you can ask your parents to take your interview. So I did that, and I think that helped me. I did not take any external mock interview sessions from someone because I had that confidence that okay, I would be able to give the interview on my own. So I didn't need that. But if you feel that you need to improve on your communication skills, then you can go for the practice.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I believe mock interviews are very important because that gives you a practice on how to structure your answers also. Sometimes uh,
That's very
we
right.
have a lot of points in mind, but then we're not able to coherently speak them out. And we just end up blurting anything random. So that shouldn't be the case. Instead, get good practice also. The types of questions that they can ask, your introduction, your personal questions, academic questions. So mock interview is pretty important. Like I took a lot of them. So I believe it's important. It's very important.
And what is the interview structure for IPM basically? What kind of questions they are asked, and is there any extempore, and then what general questions, current affairs? If you can just give us a brief idea about.
So the interview is fairly simple. They'll first get to know you. You can give your introduction. So prepare a good introduction for yourself in which you are highlighting all the points that you want the interviewer to focus on. And that would help you to structure your interview for the later stage. So if you give a good introduction, they'll already know what all things they need to talk to you about. And apart from that, they can ask you some questions regarding to your 11th and 12th. So whatever stream you had, brush up those topics. And apart from that, you can get some questions on GK. So make sure to be, on your toes with GK also. Out of, apart from these things, they can give you an extempore and they can give you a topic and might tell you to speak about that topic for 1 minute. So that is a bit challenging. For that, you need to practice. So what you can do is that you can, in front of the mirror, try to take a few subjects randomly and try to speak on it for 1 minute. So that would also help you, on the go, try to structure your answers, and you would be able to, give that extempore for 1 minute. And so have good communication skills, be honest in the interview, and don't try to portray something that you are not. So that is what I feel. Purnika would add something here.
As for IIM Ranchi, they focus a lot on extracurriculars as well, and whatever you mentioned in your introduction. So, for example, if you've mentioned that you're interested in stock market, so high chances that they will grill you on stock market because there are professors sitting over there who have a background in it. So that is very important. So whatever you say in your introduction or whatever you claim that you have done, make sure you know deeply about it, your hobbies, your interests, and not just hobbies, focus on your interests also. So that is one thing. And as for IIM Ranchi, they ask few questions from academics. Like this year, the trend was they were asking mostly from extracurriculars only. So that is a trend that is, increasing as every batch goes on. So yeah, and just make sure that you know about your personal background also. Like for me, one regular question, one constant question has been that what is the meaning of my name? So that sets the tone of the interview. So the first question is important, and that's mostly from your personal background.
Okay.
So it's very important to know your own background deeply and thoroughly.
Hmm. And extempore is, kind of permanent. They give in every interview, or how does it happen? They ask.
But IIM Ranchi, they don't ask extempore. But I've heard that they do in IIM Indore and IIM Rohtak.
So it's up to their discretion. They can ask for an extempore or not. So it is not compulsory that you will get that. But if you get that, then it would be some topic, not necessarily a very difficult topic, but a topic on which they want to get to know your thoughts of. So for the 1 minute that you are speaking, you would only be speaking what comes to your mind first. So that they want to check that, okay, what is your thinking like? And how well can you communicate that thinking in 1 minute. So yeah.
Okay. Section, you also had few questions that you wanted to ask. You would like to take that?
Yeah, I just have one last question. How is the campus life at Rohtak and Ranchi?
Okay, so I'll start with I am Rohtak. The campus life is pretty good. So I had never been to a hostel, and when I came to I am Rohtak, that was the first time I, started my hostel life. And I would say hostel life is very good because you, if you are a day scholar, you go to your home, right? When you are in a hostel, you are living with other people, and you have a lot more time to talk to people and make new friends and understand their culture as well. So that gives you a lot of personality development. So those years that you'll spend in the college in your hostel, that would really define you. And based on who you hang around with, you would have the personality that you are looking for after an MBA. And after an MBA, you aim to be a good manager, right? And for being a good manager, you need to have communication skills. You need to learn to understand others, right? And all these things would be really helpful if you are in a hostel. So that is one thing that I prefer, that students should go to a hostel. And apart from that, the campus life, there are a lot of amenities that you can go to. You have the gym, right? So if you're interested in gymming, then you have gym, you have badminton courts, you have table tennis. So all these things are like the recreation sports. Apart from that, you have clubs and committees. You can join that if you want to, spend your time organizing events in the campus. And we also have a lot of celebrations. So like yesterday we had the Dashera celebration, Navratri celebration was there. So these things are, something that really put the life into your campus life. And you would really enjoy once you start living here with your friends. And once the MBA life is over, then you would look back and, then these would be the good memories and you would cherish those memories.
But do you get time to go to these facilities? As Pranika said that we have
Yeah.
4 hours, 4 hours left. Throughout.
Actually, as I said, it varies. It might happen that a few days you are very busy because you have your exams coming up, you have assignments coming up. But then obviously there are days when you would have some free time. So at that time, you can use these facilities.
And Pranika, how about in IIM Ranchi? How is
Okay,
campus?
so one thing about this campus is that this campus never sleeps. So you will find people at any hour of the day, either walking or in the academic building or somewhere, sitting at Nescafe discussing something. So that is that, and everyone is doing something or the other. So plus, there are so many activities that are going on. Yesterday only we had the Shara celebration in the evening, and we are having this triathlon thing, which will be an annual thing that there'll be multiple competitions, sports related, academic related, cultural related. So every weekend we'll have some competition or the other. And yesterday we were having table tennis competitions till 2:30 at night. So
Okay.
everyone was there. Yes, there was so much sportsman spirit in the air, and the entire environment was very, very jolly, very happy. So these are some good parts, the good instances that cherish. As Bhavya said, that when you look back in retrospection, you will remember these days and probably not what your professors taught in the
Yeah.
classrooms. That you will definitely forget after giving the exam. But these are some things that you will take with you. And yes, most of the times you're busy in studying, but the campus life is very hectic, but it's very enjoyable also because there'll be people you'll always be with your friends, you'll be meeting new people constantly, and it's a very cherished experience, to be honest. Hostel life is completely different. Day scholars experience something different, but hostel life is like the most fun thing about campus.
Oh.
So
So does ragging happen in any of the camps?
No, there are strict policies against ragging. So, it's a serious offense to commit ragging inside the IM campus. So, at least in IM Rohtak, there's no such instance of ragging.
yeah, same in IIM Ranchi, there's an anti-ragging committee. Plus, our IPM seniors were kind enough to set this culture that juniors are not slaves. They are not supposed to be ragged at all. And instead, try building a better relation with juniors so that they can also learn and seniors can also have a better interaction with them, an open channel for communication. So they set this culture of camaraderie, to be honest.
Then few last questions. I mean, what kind of pay packages that you guys, are offered after the IPMAT completion? I mean, I'm Rohtak and I'm Ranchi basically. Can give us a bit break.
Um, the exact figures I would have to check once on the official website of IM Rohtak, like what is the average median. So maybe you can, put that link in the description. I can send you that. But yes, you can get a good starting salary if you are completing your IPM or you're doing your MBA from IM Rohtak. Basically, you get a good launch pad to your corporate, a fresher, I would say, who is earning, say, upwards of 15 lakhs per year or 20 lakhs per year. I think that is a very good start because from that on, if you are starting at that, then there is a high chance that you can, get up into the corporate ladder and you can really earn a lot in the future. right? If you are committed towards your work. So I think that pay packages is something that, obviously people look at the ROI, and with IPM, this thing becomes even more because you are paying a hefty fees for IPM. So people are interested in the ROI. But I think, yes, the ROI is manageable and you can easily, pay off your loans and get into a good job after your MBA.
As for IIM Ranchi, the first batch of IPM is still in its fourth year. So we're yet to find out the pay packages of the IPM people. For MBA, it is different, but in a batch mixed with IPM students, it's a different combination. So maybe I can answer that question next year.
Sure. Any other questions section you have?
No, I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Kavya. Thank you, Karnika. Thank you, Saksham. You guys have really answered pretty much. I have asked the LRC team and they had given me a question of 2025 question, and you have answered all the questions pretty well. And that will be a great help to our DLRC school students. Thank you so much for coming on the show and helping us out. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank